Well, welcome back to the 831 podcast. The previous 3 podcasts are part of this series I am doing on Larry Nellis and the impact of one of the 831 people that inspired and empowered me to live my best life. If you've just joined this podcast for the first time, listening to the 3 previous episodes will place this one in context. They are, number 1, laws of gravity, number 2, motivated or manipulated, and number 3, who are you? That early morning on Kokanee Glacier, my flame was on, but Larry Nellis ignited the furnace. Now it was time to turn up the heat. Jim, he said, the 4th law is easy to understand, but the hardest to do. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. Learning to align and match the pull of gravity while moving over an ever-changing terrain is the hardest thing to do on skis. I'm Jungle Jim Hunter, and you're listening to 831 Living Your Best Life podcast, where we inspire participation, communicate precision, empower performers to podium, and we hope you will tell your friends and relatives to go to their favorite podcast provider or to junglejimhunter.com or YouTube and subscribe, download, click on like, rate and review us, and become an 831er, someone that makes a difference in other people's life because you've been inspired by this podcast. Well, let's get back to Larry Nellis on the glacier. Larry said this, do it right and you continually speed up. Change is always constant, so that's what's the problem with trying to keep up to it. Your technique is wrong and you can't get centrifugal force and centripetal force to match, but you will get it. Larry just threw jet fuel on the fire and supercharged it. I finally knew what was wrong with my skiing. Somehow I just understood what he meant. Up to now, I had used pure force and power, energy, and everything I had in my gut and my will, and fought my way to the bottom of every course, improving little by little. Once in a while, I would find a way to match forces and increase my speed, and I was amazed at how easy it was to make it down. But it was only by accident. The force was doing all the work, and I no longer was doing the work. Jim, you have to fight for every gate to get like that. You can't grind the turn and cut deep, and yet you can't let the rebound pressure escape. Do as many turns this way as you can, and this is what it takes to be a champion. In that race, that moment, that day, that games, you stand on the top step of the podium if you do it more often than everybody else. Larry had a way of looking right through you, and this was one of those moments when he realized I understood what he meant. He looked right through me and then said, will you prepare with this kind of focus in the time that you have? Or will you just keep putting in time going up and down the mountain, run after run after run? This imagery changed everything in that moment. When it comes to Newton's laws of gravity, the direction of pull is always down. When it comes to the heart and emotions, the laws of growth, it's the opposite. The heart always wants to climb up. The heart is where the flame is lit, and it requires more training than all the other training you will ever have to do combined. No matter how high you climb in any field, explode out of the start. Start each turn at the right place, and for every action of force onto the snow, if you match it at the right angle in the right arc, the force coming back, you will increase your speed, meaning you must always be focused ahead of where you are so you can adjust before you get there. This is having what we like to call having a perfect day, but it rarely happens. And this is what the best of the best of the best are doing. This is the easy part. Yeah, that's what I said. This is the easy part. Becoming the best skier in the world, this is the easy part once you understand this, because it's the training of the heart and the emotions that respond to that increase in speed that is never equal and it is never opposite. Let me try and explain. If you're standing in the start at Kitzbühel and you want to leave the start and you know in the next 7 seconds you are going to go from 0 to 70 plus mile an hour without an engine, and then all of a sudden jump off the mouse fall and free fall anywhere from 150 to 200 feet, your mind is doing a lot of different things in your heart saying, am I really going to do this? You see what I mean? It changes. The technique is easy. In the heart and emotions, it is rarely equal and hardly ever the exact opposite. If so, you would be able to match it and work with it. But with human beings, even the reactions we have with ourselves are rarely equal and opposite. We want what we want. We don't want what we need. You can be kind to someone else, and you are surprised when someone is as kind to you as you were to them. At least Newton's laws of gravity is consistent, but laws of the heart and laws of growth are so unpredictable. Say something that is misinterpreted the wrong way, and it may take years to repair the damage. If you hurt someone by accident, the response is always greater and meaner in an effort to balance the score. I was a smart kid until my accident at 10 years of age, and I was the slowest kid in my community after the accident, and the rejection and pain that I knew was almost impossible to handle. My parents gave me the opportunity to move away and start ski racing so I could start over and be with people that didn't know me. It gave me a fresh start. I was recovering, and so was different, slower and quiet and reserved, and people thought I was slow and handicapped and dumb. I came home from skiing one day, and Mom could see I was troubled. I told her what people were saying, and she taught me the following. You understand what we have taught you about the laws of the heart, and you are the gatekeeper. Yes, Mom, I'm the gatekeeper. A gatekeeper makes sure you don't miss a gate in a race, and if you do, you are disqualified. Son, you can make sure you never disqualify yourself. In your preparation, you are the gatekeeper and determine what goes into your mouth so you can perform running on the best fuel. You decide what you breathe in, what you watch, what you listen to, and what your sense of touch is. To be kind to everyone, and most of all, to be kind to yourself. You are striving to be the best of the best of the best, and you know it's incongruent in yourself to try to do one thing and then be something else. When someone says or does something that hurts you, I want you to do the following. I want you to say this to yourself, and this is today's quote. Never let something outside of you inside of you unless it makes you better. And then she said, I want you to see something. See one thing about them that is genuine and true, and throw them a compliment bouquet. You look great. You had a great race today. Or do something. Help before being asked. Do something for them. Open a door. Pick up something they may have dropped. Do the opposite of what people expect and show greater kindness and thank them for giving you the opportunity to help. Our first response must be kindness, for it calms us and keeps our emotional stability. It may also help them as well. Larry Nellis that morning, took the time to understand that letting the force of gravity align through the ski boots, and the shaft of the leg, and it made me better, faster. The primary technical tool needed to become a better ski racer. But it brought congruency to me in Newton's laws of gravity, but it also connected in my heart. Larry was being kind to me, and not only aligned the force of gravity, but it aligned with what my parents had taught me. My parents never taught me how to ski, but they did teach me how to align with people that made me better. When you are kind to people, you don't get an equal and opposite reaction. If they're kind people, you get a kinder and better reaction. When we are unkind, we disqualify people. But when we are kind, we qualify them. This is living your best life. Are you living your best life? I hope you are. Thank you for listening today. I hope that you will have grown and you will have been kinder before we meet again the next time.